Hello and welcome to the start and finish line of Formula One's new Spanish Grand Prix circuit in Madrid. I'm to the northeast of the city, just a mile from the airport, at Madrid's IFEMA Conference and Exhibition Centre. But why?
Formula One last raced in Madrid 45 years ago at the Jarama circuit. The venue hosted 9 Grand Prix between 1968 and 1981, with Gilles Villeneuve winning the final race at Jarama with what would be his last ever victory in Formula One. From 2026, Formula One will return to Madrid at a new facility to the northeast of the city. The 5.5-kilometre circuit will be a semi-permanent racetrack, similar to Miami for example, or Valencia in the past. The section in yellow will be a purpose-built racing facility, while the section in blue will wind along public roads. The section in red, including the main straight and pit lane, will be based on the site of the IFEMA Convention Centre, which hosts business fairs and conferences, including the NATO Summit in 2022. The venue is just one metro stop from Madrid's airport, making it easily accessible to fans from all over the world. Furthermore, an estimated 90% of spectators will be able to reach the circuit by public transport. This was a crucial factor when the venue was selected to host the Spanish Grand Prix, with the sports owners Liberty Media preferring races in cities as a way of bringing F1 straight to its fans. In fact, 8 of the 24 Grand Prix in 2024 are on semi-permanent or street circuits, with Madrid pushing that total up to 9 for 2026.
So I'm here. I'm not sure much of the track is yet, but we'll go and have a look. I can see turn 1 down in front of me, so we'll go and see what we can find. I've only just set off, as you can see, and I've already noticed one thing. I don't see any pit lane anywhere just yet. I presume this green building behind me is going to be pretty much where the pit building is going to be, you know, right parallel to the first corner, on the inside of the track as well. But there's nothing there. That's not a pit building as far as I can make out. So I'm now down at turn 1. You can see the start and finish line just behind me, about 135 metres back, something like that. So it's really not a long run down to the first turn from the start and finish line. As to the first turn itself, it's going to be a 90-degree left-hander. And this is pretty much all there is to it at the minute. There's not a huge amount to show you, other than a basketball court, a few Heineken tents, and a little tunnel that takes us through to turn 2, which is where we'll go next. So here somewhere behind me will be the second corner, the right-hander of turn 2, which will then go over my shoulder this way towards turn 3. We're literally in the middle of a car park here. There's tarpaulins, there's tents, there's bins, there's all sorts, as you can see around me. It's a long way from being anywhere near ready to race on. But somewhere in amongst all this, hidden from view, is a turn 1-2 chicane. So I'm now at turn 3. I wasn't able to get to it on foot from turns 1 and 2. As you can see, it's blocked off here, so I had to go round and back. I think this is roughly where the circuit will join the public roads for the first time.
Once the drivers come out of turn 3, they're onto around a 1-mile stretch of public road, blasting down this street. The central reservation's going to have to come out, which looks like a lot of work. It doesn't look like Monaco, for example, where the street furniture is temporary and can be easily removed. But having a look ahead, it looks like it should create a nice wide stretch and some wheel-to-wheel action. The scenery isn't exactly stunning, but the driver's attention will be on turn 4 up ahead. It's a flat-out right-hander with this rather large roundabout in the middle, which will have to make way. On to turn 5, which will sit at the bottom of a motorway slip road. Again, once the roundabout's been taken out, there may be space to create a heavy braking zone and a great overtaking opportunity. However, looking at the track map, it seems like the race organisers are imagining more of a quick left-handed flick.
Now this tunnel behind me is actually a really important aspect of the geography of this circuit. It marks a halfway point between the western side of the track, which is a street circuit, and the eastern side of the track, which is a purpose-built racetrack.
The drivers will come out of the tunnel underneath the motorway and charge up this steep hill before reaching, you guessed it, another roundabout. Also, a bit of real estate advice. Make sure you buy one of these houses, which will overlook the track for an outstanding view on race day. The drivers will hang a right and blast through this fence, which hopefully will have moved by then, and onto the purpose-built track. But surprise! There's nothing there. It's an absolute wasteland. This entire area in the red box needs to be an FIA Grade 1 facility in less than 2 years' time, and it's currently barren.
So I'm walking now down towards turn 9, which is the long right-hander right at the furthest point of the circuit from the start-finish straight. It's kind of right at the far end of the site where Formula One are building this new purpose-built part of the circuit. But I mean, look at it. 18 months from now, 2 years from now, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen will be whizzing down here, literally alongside where I'm walking, and there's nothing there at all. You know, I was in Valencia the other day, and it was bizarre to see kind of the skeleton of a dead racetrack just there, deserted in the middle of a city. And here, you know, we've not even got the embryo of a new one yet. There's literally nothing there at all still.
With that, there's really nothing else to add here, apart from several more angles of the empty construction site and a few shots of Real Madrid's training ground, which is literally across the road from the circuit. Somewhere in front of me here will be a sweeping left-hander feeding into a very tight right, which will see the driver sweep back under the motorway and off the racetrack part of the circuit. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anywhere near the next section of the track because it's on the grounds of IFEMA and it was protected by lock and key. It mainly involves the drivers winding through a grid of warehouses before they reach the end of the lap.
I've actually now been able to rejoin the circuit at the final corner, which you can now see behind me. So the cars will shoot along this straight from behind me. Back there's part of the track that I wasn't able to access. And then they'll swing right around here and onto the pit straight all the way down there. Now, I've just walked the full length of it. And let me tell you, it's a long way. So once you reach that chicane that we looked at before that doesn't quite exist yet, you would like to think there'll be some serious overtaking opportunities. Just looking at the profile of the corner as well, it does look like the space to make a really kind of nice, wide, sweeping right-hander, similar to what we see at the end of the lap at Catalonia, which should create some brilliant overtaking opportunities down in turns 1 and 2. And across the line. Is that maybe the first person ever to complete a lap of the F1 City Circuit in Madrid? Probably not, but it was still very cool to see what the track looks like less than 2 years until Formula One goes racing in Madrid. Is it a street circuit? No, only about 1.5 kilometres of it is on public roads. The rest are on the grounds at the IFEMA Conference Centre, and also part of it, of course, on that ready-made permanent racing circuit, where construction's not even started yet. So street circuit, no. Semi-permanent track, yes. I do think it's going to be really cool. Having seen it in person, I was skeptical at first, but having seen it in person, there is a lot they can do with it to make some really interesting overtaking zones, create some really fast corners, such as down there at the final corner. Whether that potential is realised, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I feel much better about it now than I did when I saw the track map. There is so much potential for this track, as hopefully you've seen as well. And I can't wait for Formula One to hit Madrid in 2026.